Did you see Alfian's post on his Instagram about the worst Hari Raya ad? What do you think of? Did you actually watch the ad? Because I was watching it halfway and then it got taken off.
And I just saw MCI just pulled it off. I didn't get to see the ad, but normally at this time you see a lot of positive ads. You used to have the McDonald's ads and stuff like that. This is the first time I've ever come across an ad that went wrong, especially given the festive season.
There's no ad that has come out to the so-called the standard of a movie yet, like what we see from the Indonesian side or the Malaysian side, or
even the Thai
side,
yeah.
Right? But yes, I think Singapore is putting a lot of effort trying to keep up with the pace. But if you were to look at that ad, you go like, salah lah. It's just wrong depiction, of Ramadan. It's the wrong depiction of Syawal or Hari Raya. The crossing of the story is somebody by the name of Ramadan moved into Syawal. So that was like the metaphor of it. But it doesn't have a common thread that everybody would understand, right? So yes, we have the poor families, we have the rich families, we have someone who's educated, someone who isn't, but it's all about opportunities. I give you this example, be it Chinese, Indian, Malay, or anyone, right? It's not my fault born into a poor family. I was designed for it. It's not my fault that it's hard for me to get a university education because my father could not afford it. It's not my fault. It's all about opportunities, right? If you look into a poor family economically, under the socio economy, right? If your parents can't afford, you need to support. So when that happens, of course, it will affect your education. But every parent would want their child to go to school, yes? But sometimes it's hard. But when you show that in a ministerial campaign, that, oh, this is what it is. Of course, some of us go like, no, I wasn't like that. I had that opportunity to study. I had that opportunity to speak English, to go to a decent school and study. My dad works very hard, but not everybody had that opportunity. Now, but that ad don't even reflect Ramadan or Syawal. So the writer did not do a decent research, or the writer do not have the cultural intelligence to understand the community or the religion.
So was it just a stereotypical ad or a short film? I mean, there isn't any link, right, to Ramadan?
Now, a lot of my friends who are Malays, they feel that yes, there is the poor who are Malays, but there is also that group of Malays who are educated, who are middle income. Why not feature them? It's like most of them are saying this is basically laziness. Firstly, you don't do research. Secondly, you just pick out the group that you are stereotyping, and then it's like, okay, all of them are like that, which once again boils down to being lazy.
But if you look, if you look into the compound of other races, right, there are other races who are poor, who doesn't go to school, who doesn't get proper education. It is the same whether in the east or in the west, right? And when you fall into that economic vertical, right, there are certain things that will all remains the same. But if you want to do it in the month of Ramadan or in the month of Syawal, then you need to find a common thread where everybody, be it the poor or the rich, will be able to relate. It does not matter. Now, if this is a commercial movie, nobody cares. It's a make-up story, but this is a campaign to portray about what? The family, or about Hari Raya, or about Ramadan. We all can't tell. Now, a true writer would investigate and understand what is a common thread that would bind people together in this festive season. It's when it comes to Ramadan, when you fast, it's about understanding how the poor goes through. So you go through that process. Everybody, Muslims, rich or poor, young and old, educated or not, right, would go through that process and understand, oh, this is how it feels to be poor and not eat in the day. Respect everybody who's poor. Even the poor has to fast. Then when it comes to Hari Raya or when it comes to Syawal, it's about seeking forgiveness. Everybody in the community, the whole structure, will go through that process. Why can't you write something as simple as that everybody can relate to?
I think they were just trying to play a pun on the names and the similarities. And they lost whole track of what Ramadan
They
is all
lost the
about.
plot.
Yeah.
You know, it's like they go straight into the microscope and then they lost the plot.
Now,
So is it a reflection that I'm going to stir and encourage discussion that the people in charge don't know or don't have a proper sensing on the ground or an understanding of this particular community? I mean, would you feel that way?
I think the leader of that particular ministry do not have proper understanding. Yes, they do not have cultural intelligence. Yes, we have.
So you're talking about Josephine Teo.
Yes. Yeah. Because everything within a ministry,
The buck stops at the minister.
they must approve it. They must approve it. If they look at it and say, go, what does that reflect? This is the same person who say you can have sex in a very small place. Have she lived in a one-room HDB flat? Has she been living in a pondok where the Malays don't even have a room, they all stay together before? Has she been there?
And I think MCI even had the opportunity to explain themselves and they didn't do a good job.
No.
They didn't do anything. They just said, no, this is what it meant. No apology, nothing. And all they did now was they pulled the ad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think from a communications ministry,
It is a miscommunication.
and they're not communicating properly. Now,
But isn't it important to understand, to understand the different races? The importance here would be communicate, having information, talking to each other.
This is one ministry where I think the leader should be from the ground up. They must understand all. It does not matter what race you are on top. You need to understand everybody. If you can't, you ask, you hire people. You hire the specific people within that community who not only speaks the language, but they understand the intricate parts of the culture and religion that intertwines us like that. But when you show like that, everybody gets mad. Then nothing happens. You know, if you look into that Nets ad, the agency says sorry. The actor says sorry. Do we have, for a start, the writer that stops someone and says, I made a mistake, I apologize.
no one has said that.
That's
No.
all you need. We are
Or
sorry.
when you refer to the Nets ad, it's the one where Dennis, the Chinese
Dennis
actor,
Chu, yeah.
colored his skin darker just to play minority race.
But
They're
then-
different races. Yeah.
But I find that less harmful because it was tongue in cheek, right? It was, but even if that is considered sensitive, then what about this one? In the month of Syawal and this comes out, I think that's just bad. I think what they need to do is to call back the writer, call someone who understands, rewrite the story and redo it.
So in the it will take a few weeks to at least a month to do that. I mean, so in the meantime, what can they do? I mean, from a crisis.
First, this is crisis management, right?
Management,
Step
yes.
forward and say, we hire the writer, but under our purview, maybe we missed this. We apologize. We are going to rewrite this and portray a better understanding of Ramadan and Syawal because the religion is of a universal value. Anybody can relate. If you go to a movie, let's say we go to a Hollywood movie and you understand, and I understand because the story is of a universal value, right? So that's what it should be. It's sensitive. It's sensitive when you don't step out and make us all understand, I'm sorry, this is a mistake. Even in Hollywood or in any filmmaking, there are portions where you edit out in certain countries. You don't show because you want to take care of
You're respectful.
You need to be respectful. Where is the respect of the community? Or to make it worse, where's the respect of the religion? Or the society at large. So which means I can hire anyone to write about other races in reflection of their community. Can I say certain Certain race, oh, sure, heavy drinkers. Certain race, sure, midwives. Certain race, sure, gamble. Certain race, sure, lazy. But that's not right. Not everybody is like that.
So I mean, we get it. MCI, the writer, the whole production got it wrong. But are we, as Singaporeans or our generation, being oversensitive? Are we demanding an apology? Are we demanding change? Or we just feel that it is of bad taste? Or is it just oversensitive?
No, to me it's bad taste because you don't make the effort to understand someone's culture and you want to put out an ad or a short film about that culture. It's not only bad taste, it's disrespectful. You know, it's like if I were to say, write a book about you, and I don't even ask you about your family or, you know, how you grew up. I just assume, and then the next thing you know, there's a book about you that is not about you. Then you feel hurt, disrespected. It's the same. It's like that. I don't even talk to you and I put out a book about you. So this is like, I don't even understand what Ramadan or Syawal is all about. And here's the film. I'd be so hurt and so disrespected. And I really, for all it's worth, I really understand how Alfian got really angry.
For me, it's the timing. There are pockets of the community who are like that. They really have no opportunity to cross that barrier. I mean, pity them. But if this is an international film festival, or this is a competition where you depict a family in specific, I'm fine with it. But this is a Hari Raya campaign from the ministry in specific for the community, and it's wrong. The timing is wrong. The storyline is, it doesn't come to me. It's like, okay, I know, but where's the Hari Raya in there? Where's the Ramadan in there? Where's the forgiveness in there? Ramadan and Hari Raya are just different from other months. Okay? Being a Malay, you have the Malay culture, then you have the religious imbibement to it. There's the religious culture, there's the local culture. So it's very sensitive, right? It's not just about, oh, the Malays are like that. No.
I mean, so Ramadan embodies the sacrifice, the forgiveness, the charity aspect.
And that's a universal value to that.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
So if you portray that, then even the non-Malays or the non-Muslim will say, like how we appreciate Chinese movies, we appreciate Hindi movies, we appreciate Korean movies or other movies because it has values that we can understand, like that.
So I think the ministry missed an ideal opportunity to bring Singaporeans together, no? Especially
Very
in
much
this
so.
important.
If this is done by
Period,
Ministry of Transportation, Ministry of Transportation, they don't know lah. But you are Ministry of Communication and Information. How can you not have your tentacles all out in the community to understand? Or there are a lot of writers who have lived their lives as a Malay than as a Muslim. Or if not, fine, the understanding of that religion where, oh, this is the international value of it. This is the universal aspect of it. Write about this. So even if you have a Chinese actor inside that, but the values are about the same, universal value to the Muslims, then we will embrace it. It's all about the values. Where's the value in there? Because at the end of the day, when you leave the theatre, oh, the story is good. We never hear, if you go to movies, oh, is the actor handsome? No, but the story is really good. They don't care who acted in it.
I'm not aware, but has any Muslim leaders or organizations come forward to comment on this?
No,
No,
the only
not at
prominent
all.
leader for now is all those people in the digital.
So the key
field.
question is why
Do
hasn't anyone?
Why
organized-
why are they not brave enough? I wouldn't say afraid. Why are they not brave enough to say this is wrong?
Yeah.
Do you think it's what my friend called buka pekung di dada?
Yeah, it's like washing your dirty linen in public. Could be, but it's like, for me, it's just wrong. The storyline is not about Hari Raya or Ramadan. It's just like, it's not there. If you replace the story with any other races, it will carry it will not reach the Chinese community, it will not reach the Indian community, it will not reach the Malay community. We don't understand it. The timing is wrong. If this is done in some other timing, then okay lah, doesn't matter. It's a festival, they portray a family per se. But when you portray this as a community, then like, oh.
Let's take the example of the Singtel Chinese New Year one, where Lim Kay Tong played the father. His kids are not coming back. He cooked everything and he sits alone with the food ready and he's just waiting for them to return for reunion. So I thought that was brilliantly done because there's the reunion, there's the longing for people to come back. He's lonely, and we can relate to that because children are away overseas, old people, empty nesters. So yes, there's the understanding, there's the, I'm an Indian, I'm a Malay, I can relate to that. But this one, it's almost like, what is going on?
Like, if the Malays go like, like that ah? What would the others feel? Yeah lah, you like that ah? How would this reflect in the eyes of the international community? Are the Malays that bad or that poor, or are they that lazy, or whether they do not have that opportunity, or whether they do not seize that opportunity? There's so many things. But my question still remains, where's the Ramadan values in there, and where is the Syawal values in there? It doesn't reflect us as a forward-looking community. There are pockets of the poor in every society in this world, right? But when you do it at the wrong time, then everything goes wrong.
Do you think it's almost, I feel that it's almost like white Hollywood portraying the black Americans in ghettos.
True, it's like if you, the old Hollywood, the moment you see an Asian, gangster. When you see someone of Arab descent, bombers lah. When you see the Russians are villains lah. Only the Americans are born to heaven. So it's like
that. Not the Americans, white Americans.
The white Americans born to heaven. So it has been, they have demonized these things until of late, where almost of late Asian Americans get equal standing, the Afro Americans get equal standing. So things have to evolve. If a country like America, the world leader, has evolved and moved forward, right? So are we still not forward-looking towards such? Now, but I still think the writer should step forward and say, I missed this component lah, sorry lah, let me write again. Yep. Nobody would default you, but when you remain quiet and disappear into thin air, this is what happened. People like us will question. This is no more about the video. This is about the corrective measures, right? A leader who make mistakes, we as followers say, sir, can you shift to the right because this is the wrong path? You cannot be a blind follower. You need to be a thinking follower. Then you guide the leader to lead you. That's what it's all about. That's what the Muslim religion is all about. A leader that make mistakes, you correct it. But he's still a leader in respect to that.
Yeah, so I think the key thing is over the next 1-2 days, what will MCI do? I mean, we are moving out of a pandemic. We are trying to get the nation stronger together. Every opportunity to nation build, unite the community has to be taken. So, and I think this is a missed opportunity. But I think the greater issue now is the correction, like what you said.
Yeah.
If you are a leader, we all make mistakes.
We all make
how
mistakes.
You accept it. I think we won't judge you. Yeah, you make mistakes, but you need to come out fast. And I hope, like, I think if you're not wrong, we were talking earlier when there was issues with the nets issue.
Yeah.
It is the advertising agency that came out to apologize, not the client.
True.
And now, given that the client is the government, it's the ministry. I think we need to see strong leadership, you know. I mean, and to see, firstly, leadership in admitting the mistake, but also what can be corrected. I mean, you mentioned making another show, another movie.
Yeah.
What else can be done? Can there be greater dialogue? I mean, we need to have education. I mean, it was a perfect opportunity for Singaporeans to better understand the Malay Muslim community, what the whole festival, the sacrifices was all about.
True.
We missed it. I mean, and what can we do now in the next 1 week? to
First
solve
step
it?
out
Yeah.
and say, maybe we did not thoroughly check this. We have not done this. Messaging is wrong. You need to come up with the right messaging. Imagine if they hire the wrong agency to do the NDP's rally.
Oh goodness.
What will happen?
Mm.
What will happen? Right? Shouldn't they do the... So there were issues in rally that was brought up, but it was accepted by them because they check and they check, they check and they check and they check thoroughly. So all these things are done way before. Did you hire the right writers? Did you hire the right group of people to do the think tank? You need to do that.
I want to pick on the think tank. I mean, we are a multiracial country.
Yeah.
There's always consultation. Where was the consultation? You know, and
There
I want to
is-
hear. And I want
There's
to
also
hear,
that minister in charge of Malay Muslim affairs.
Yes.
Was
No one has
he-
said anything. Yeah.
Was he consulted? I want to know.
Was the religious council consulted?
Mm.
Was the those who understand social politics understand this, or were they consulted? There are professors in universities who are Malay Muslims. Were they consulted? There's so many parts of it.
Or is this a hurried job? You know, it's like, okay, Hari Raya is coming. We just want to get this out, tug the heartstrings, and then push it out.
Could be, but then again, if this is what happens when you do a rush job. This is what happens when you don't hire the right people to do the job. So now it goes down right from the bottom, from the ideation of it to the execution of it. Nobody noticed. Not even the actor noticed. Not even the actresses notice. Or everybody's just so afraid. Who do
just
you
following
hire?
directions.
Is the director someone who understands the deep dive into the religion? Directors are so important. Writers are so important. Then who in the ministry approve it? I like that.
We will never know, but
Yeah.
I hope someone will enlighten us.
Yeah. So this is just of an example. So I hope it will not happen to any other festive season. Let's
So,
pray.
do you think there is a list of tips that you would want to come up with? Like, let's say 5 tips that, you know, if you were to put out a small filmlet, what are the tips?
If this is if it's running for the community in a festive season, hire the right writers first. Writers who understand not just the language, but the culture, and must have the cultural intelligence to it. And if that campaign doesn't carry a universal value that the non-Chinese would be able to understand, then you cannot do it.
To me, it's the value. The values that you want to impart, the values you want to share. I think that should be the cornerstone of the whole story. And then you build a story around it so that you can tell the story and share the value. That's what I would do. Yeah.
They should hire us to write. We understand it.
Well, for me, it's more like there need to be consultation. You don't have to have a hurried job, because usually hurried jobs are no good. You have to consult the right people. You have to hire, like you say, hire the right people. The person who knows how to speak or write the language may not understand the whole culture.
True.
It's like if I was Chinese girl who who speaks Japanese, because I learnt it as a third language, doesn't mean that I would understand the whole Japanese culture.
You need to leave it up as the person in the community, not just someone who speaks or someone who do Google Translate. It doesn't work like that. But then again, no religion teach you bad stuff. right? So pick up the universal value that even the non-Chinese or the non-Malays or the non-Indians can pick it up and say, see, it's all about sacrifice, it's all about forgiveness, it's all about giving, it's all about being kind. Such a pity. I think if an apology steps forward, people will be less upset.
Well, I guess we have to watch and see what's coming up next.